Well, good morning from Lefty of the Coco and Lefty show. Coco is off on a ski trip in Mecca with her cousin Abu Ben Adam, who awoke one night from a deep dream of peace, and there within the moonlight of his room stood an angel who said, "Take Coco skiing in Saudi Arabia." So that's where she is today. So here I am, alone with my voices on Christmas Day, to tell you a story that may earn me millions of dollars that I will donate to the New York State Psychiatric Institute. Growing up in the Bronx, my teachers encouraged me to take the entrance exam for the prestigious public Bronx High School of Science, for which you needed a minimum of a 135 IQ. After my freshman year there, I started exhibiting unusual behavior that alarmed the faculty. I would walk about saying, "What? What? What was that?" Well, I was sent to an audiologist, but was diagnosed with schizophrenia. My voices were speaking to me in Yiddish, which I didn't understand. A psychiatrist, a Dr. Grainham Shift, advised me to enroll in the Arbeiter Ring school and learn Yiddish. I soon became proficient and became the leader of the only Jewish-speaking Boy Scout troop in New York City, and for several years won the Mayor LaGuardia Trophy for horror speed dancing and the Slingshot at Goliath contest. I wore my Boy Scout uniform to high school every single day. Well, the drug Thorazine was marketed, which enabled me to go to New York University, which at that time would enroll any breathing Meshuggah that could come up with a $350 a year tuition. My voices, now speaking in English, told me to become a dentist. The voices sounded suspiciously like those of my parents. Nevertheless, I went to NYU College of Dentistry. Being left-handed, the instructors couldn't figure out what I was doing, so they graduated me. To keep me out of trouble, they made me a captain in the U.S. Air Force and sent me to Korea. My voices now spoke to me in Korean, and I was soon directing the rice paddy harvest. Back in the United States, I met a girl named Coco in group therapy, and our voices told us to marry. So we did. We moved to Red Oak, New York. Having little interest in dentistry, I used my time skiing, marathon running, rock climbing, bungee jumping, and drinking, and being a Red Hook School Board member for 11 years. To the relief of my fellow board members, I never said anything at the meetings, but filled 126 books with doodles, which are now on loan to the David Lax Art Library at Dutchess Community College. Now to the point of the story. I became more aware of people walking in the streets constantly speaking into what looked like telephones. I said to myself, who could have so many friends? Who could have so much to say? Who could never get off these telephones? It occurred to me that these were my fellow schizophrenics, covering up their talking to voices with the guise of the socially accepted cellular devices. Well, I tested my theory with a group of a half-dozen schizophrenic dental patients from the Mystic Lake Lodge. They were patients of mine who I liked quite a bit. In the waiting room, I would hear animated conversation, but found that they were not speaking with one another, but to their internal voices. So, at their next visit, I gave them each a cell phone and told them that when they spoke with their voices, to speak into their phones. And voila, they all appeared to be perfectly normal. No, at least as normal as my children and grandchildren, who always seem to have some kind of electric appendage attached to their heads. Now completely normal myself, self-medicated with Grey Goose and weed, I approached the Apple Industries to suggest the manufacture of the PHRENIC. I have a model of one here. It looks like a cellular phone, and I suggested to them that they manufacture the PHRENIC. And I'm sure that there will be many who could walk about talking into their PHRENICs, actually with their imaginary voices, and they would seem absolutely normal. It will be an inexpensive device as it has no internal mechanism at all. There will be no monthly charges for cellular service, which of course is upsetting the cellular providers, but I, Lefty, will be a wealthy man. And I wish a very, very Merry Christmas to all my friends out there, real and imagined, and actually, if you actually exist. So bye-bye for now, and a Merry Christmas to all. And bye-bye from Lucy Land. Ta-ta!